So one of the things that we're kind of skipping on this is that my possible solutions, in other words, when I pick the number that I do the synthetic division for, are based on the first and last term. So if I have a 1 here and I have a -4 here, I have to think of all the factors, right? So I say the factors of, and we'll label this as 1 and -4. And they're written as a ratio, so it's like 1 over 1. What's also a factor of 4? How about 2? Right? So it would be like 2 over 1. So it's a combination. It's like 2 over 1, then there's -2 over 1. Not 1. Erase the 1. It could be 4 over 1, -4 over 1. Whoops. I'll just draw that on the other side. 4 over 1. And so you're gonna try to figure out, one of those are gonna probably be the solutions. So what you do is synthetic division. You try this one, then you try this one, and you try this one. You would just guess. So we're eliminating that because on some of these larger polynomials, depending on how big this number is, that's a lot of guesses. So that's why I let you graph it. So just pull up your graphing calculator, and then hit x raised to the third power minus 2x raised to the second power plus 2x minus 4. And then I'm just going to hit zoom standard. I might have to zoom in. I might have to zoom out. I don't know. All right, look at there. Did I call it or what? Looks like it crosses at 2. How do I find out? I'm going to hit trace, and then I'm going to enter in 2. Boom. There it is. X equals 2. So now remember, x equals 2. Because this is a polynomial, and it's a third degree polynomial, I could have 3 solutions, right? I could have 1, 2, 3 solutions. But we're going to do the synthetic division of this. We could probably do, so let's do the synthetic division first. So remember, I'm going to say 2. I have to have a column for x cubed. I have to have a column for x squared. I have to have a column for x to the first, x to the 0. We write in the coefficients 1, -2, 2, and -4. What do I do first, guys? Drop down the 1, right? When I drop down the 1, I get 1. 2 times 1 is a positive 2. What's 2 minus 2? 0. Multiply 2 times 0, I get another 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. Okay. 2 times 4 is 8. I have a remainder of, what? That's not right. Did I enter that in the calculator right? Did I make a mistake somewhere, guys? Yes.
I think you accidentally multiplied the 2 by like the 2 on the inside. Yeah, 0, 0, 0.
Oh, you guys are absolutely right. Okay, my bad. Whew. See, I told you I make mistakes. That's what I'm talking about. Had I plugged it in the calculator, I probably wouldn't have made a mistake, right? All right, so what I did in a hurry, I did what most people do. I multiplied this 2 by this twice, right? So what's 2 times 0? It's actually 0, right? Woo! Close call. All right, now when I add that up, I've got 2 plus 0 is 2. 2 times 2 is a positive 4. And now I have my remainder of 0. Now, The reason I knew I made a mistake is because I knew I should have had a remainder of 0. When I didn't have a remainder of 0, I said, oh, I made a mistake somewhere, and I went back and double checked. That's the beauty of writing stuff down, too. Okay. So anyways, this drops down a power. I've got x squared plus 0x plus 2. In other words, this becomes x squared plus 2. Okay, that's one of them. So because x equals 2 is a solution, if I go minus 2 and I set it equal to 0, I get x minus 2 equals 0, which means it's a factor. Does that make sense? So really, this, and we'll talk about that in a second, but this is also a factor. So this is a factor, and this is a factor. But we already did the work to find out that x equals 2. So for this factor, because I can't break that down anymore, I just say x plus 2. Remember, when we get the factors, what I'm thinking is that x minus 2 times x squared plus 2, when I multiply that out, it gives me this line up here. So if I set this equal to 0, I subtract 2 from both sides. Okay? And then I get x squared equals negative 2. Remember the last problem I said sometimes it doesn't cross the x-axis, but you have a solution. I take the square root of this. That gives me x. Remember, whatever I do on one side, I have to do to the other. Can I take the square root of a negative number? Not with a real solution, but remember that the square root of negative 1 is equal to the imaginary number I. So we would write this as plus or minus the square root of 2 times I. So with real numbers, I can't take the square root of a negative, but I can take the square root of I. These don't cross the x-axis. Does not cross x-axis because it's not a real number. I probably won't have that on the test though, guys. I'll probably only have real numbers. By the way, I've got plus or minus, so that's, really what I'm saying is that x equals 2 is a solution, x equals negative the square root of 2 times I is a solution, and x equals the square root of 2I. So those are my 3 solutions. It's just 2 of them are imaginary. Okay? It happens. I probably won't do that on the test, though, because that's an extra layer where you guys will go, oh. All right? Any questions? At least on this test.